Let me see your body rock, shaking it from the bottom to top. Freak to what the DJ drop. We be the ones to make it hot. Electric shock, energy like a billion watts. Space be booming, the speakers pop. Galactic, call me Mr. Spot. We bumping in your parking lot.
When you coming up in the spot, don't bring nothing we call pink dot, cause we burning around the clock. Hit the lights and then turn them off. If you green, that don't make you stop. Like the jungle, we run the block. No one rolling the way we rock, way we rock. I wanna rock right now. I wanna rock right now. I wanna rock right
I
now.
wanna dance in the lights. I wanna rock your body. I wanna go for a ride. Hop in the music and rock your body,
Rock that body, come on, rock that body.
Rock that body.
Rock that body, come on, rock that body. Rock that body, come on, rock that body.
Rock your body.
Rock that body, come on, rock that body.
Super fly ladies, all of my super fly ladies, all of my super fly ladies, all of my super fly ladies.
Yeah, you could be big bone, long as you feel like you own. You could be the model type, skinny with no appetite, short stack, black or white, long as you do what you like. Body out of sight, body out of sight.
She does a two-step and a tongue drop. She does a cabbage patch and the bus stop. She like electro, she love hip-hop. She like the reggae, she feel punk rock. She like samba and the mambo. She like to break dance and calypso.
Get a little crazy, get a little stupid, get a little crazy and crazy and crazy. I wanna dance in the lights. I wanna rock your body. I wanna go for a ride. Hop in the music and rock your body right. Rock your body right. Rock your body right. Come on, yeah.
Rock that body, come on, rock that body.
Come on, yeah.
Rock that body.
Oh boy, we're back. I know, man. This was a can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me okay? All right, hold on. Stand by. Everything's all goofed up right now. Yeah, Don, yeah, it looks like he didn't get very far. I heard they were killed. No kidding. All right. So, yeah, so minutes ago, hold on. Yours truly isn't up in here. Hold on. All right, there we go. Yeah, so minutes ago, when I was setting up the show, which I'll tell you here after this whole thing. Okay. I don't know what they heard or what was going on. We got 2 views of it right here. There's Trump right here. Oh. Trump is so unfazed by everything. Yeah, I heard it in this video. I didn't hear it in the other video, though. Okay, well, there we go. Yeah, like when I was setting up the show, my alert went off on my phone. It's like Trump evacuated from the dinner. And it's like, oh, what the crap is that? Yeah, everyone reacts. Yeah, so something must have happened. By the way, I have no idea what happened at all. I'm sure. Oh, here we go. They were rushed off. Okay, there's that. Shots fired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Everybody's posting the same video. A shooter confirmed dead at the White House Correspondent Dinner. How did they get so far? Hold on. Where's Caitlin Collins at? Okay, so nothing's going on over there. Hold on. Do we got YouTube on here? Hold on. Do we have YouTube of what's going on with Trump right now? Hold on. Is this going to be another commercial? Of course it's going to be a commercial. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. I know, right? Some crazy stuff. Yeah, you know, Brad, let's just chill it out for a second. I was thinking the same thing, okay? I was like, no, Charlie would not approve. Okay, well, I'll keep this in the front screen in case something crazy happens. But apparently, Caitlin Collins confirmed a dead shooter at the White House. Let's see. Trump was introduced first. Okay, 5 or so minutes in after he was seated. Pop, pop, pop. Sounds like five to me while I'm sitting, and everyone immediately hit the floor. Secret Service managed to put us in a search room and began. There were thousands up there. Okay, well, there we go. Nothing to be concerned about. It was just loud sounds, according to CNN. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before. Okay, well, there we go. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff for sure. All right, Tony Ken is yeah, of course. Well, you know, Tony is like mainstream, you know. So far, I don't see him in the. Hold on, let me show you guys real quick. So far, I don't see anything. What were they serving? Does that mean dinner is canceled? Is that what's going on now? Okay, well, guess we'll everybody keep me updated of while this is happening right now. All right, so what a crazy 24, hold on, like 30 hours that has happened so far. There we go. All right, so yesterday we had that huge storm. Now, all of you guys know I'm on the west side of Indy, so hold on.
Plan to continue with the dinner, and we're just watching what happens here.
Okay, that's it. That's it, huh? Okay. Thanks for the update, John. Or whatever the fuck your name is. All right, so guarantee Jesse Brown justified. Oh, for sure, Steve, for sure. He's gonna say dictator, king, whatever. We'll see what happens though. I'm sure he's up there right now. Oh, look, I'm taking pictures of the background. Oh, hold on. You guys can't even see what I'm seeing right now. This dope is just taking pictures of the background. Oh, man. What a crazy time, huh? How'd he get so far? Was he, like, dressed up as a waiter? I don't know. I'm sure they will fill us in, though. All right, so there was a giant storm that rolled in through the west side of Indy. I'm sure you guys have been seeing pictures of it. I went and took pictures of the aftermath. I was outside of Indy doing my normal day-to-day stuff, and then I get a message from Rah saying that there's a bunch of sirens going on. They have to cancel the rest of the show, right? People are going to get up and tell jokes after this. God, I hope so. They better have like an improv guy there. So it looks like it was a tornado. Probably at a minimum, it was a microburst, and it basically traveled from the airport through Rockville and just kept going. Now, the worst of the damage was like a quarter mile from my house at a trailer park. I think it's like Garden City Trailers, and a tree fell on top of it. And when I was listening to the fire department radio, I heard sounded like two trailers had flipped over. But then I was hearing like a tree or a branch went through a trailer, and they were having to use chainsaws to get the to help get the lady out of the trailer. So so obviously the power went out, right? And I'm expecting, it's like this was a pretty big. Oh, hold on.
Kind of the nature of reporters who want to see what happens. It's a lot of checking phones, checking in with family members, people asking if they're okay, people asking if other people have information. But like I said, there's also people popping some of the bottles of wine that hadn't been opened yet.
We're already here.
Trying to relax after an obviously stressful time just about 45 minutes ago.
Is this an op? Boys and girls, is this a conspiracy op? Who could say? Anyway. All right, so then didn't have any power. I went and drove around because like, all right, well, I'm not expecting power to come back until tomorrow. Can I put captions on here? No, I can't. Hold on.
Over at first, it wasn't a distinct pop, 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 pop. It was more of a bang, 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 bang. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it wasn't what I expected. What a bullet sound would sound like. But apparently, it happened through the doors and upstairs, so maybe that's part of the muffling from what we heard in the room, which is why everyone's reaction was, I think, a little bit slower of like, is that what we thought it was? There were people...
All right, so we don't really know anything. Unless there's a dead body, I'm not going to go back into it. All right, so anyway, power goes out. I don't have anywhere to... I don't have anything to do. I'm sure there's trees everywhere. I already see the tree people. They're coming down and they're cutting down trees to try. I couldn't find anywhere where the power line was actually down. So I drive around and just get some pictures of some of the aftermath. There was like giant tree limbs falling on top of front porches. A lot of it was covering the roads. And there were a bunch of Mexicans out there with an axe or a chainsaw trying to get everything done so they can go back to tequila. So, oh yeah, everybody in the chat, Ducky, Brad, Steve, Don B, I think Special Power I saw too, Barbara in the chat too, my usual. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Ducky in the chat. Ducky, how do you feel? I will check in every now and then into Rob's show. Someone was asking me about Rob's show today. And I didn't, I gave just an honest answer of it. Well, I'm always listening to other things for research, and I'll just do a occasional wart drop off, and then take off, a drive-by warting. So, let me know, what do you guys think of Rob's show? Are you guys getting tired? Because that's what someone told me. He's like, dude, it's the same crap every time. All right, so anyway.
Washington Hilton, I've been taken out of the main ballroom after the sound of the shots fired. The Secret Service is now in charge of this building, this hotel. I just spoke to Mayor Muriel Bowser. She is on her way, and Chief Jeffrey Carroll is on his way. He will be in charge as soon as he gets here.
Okay, well, there we go. Update on there. Okay. He's getting cut by a blood. Yeah, I know. This is so terrible. Anyway, so I didn't have any power. I was just super pissed off. I had other things I had going on today, so I was like, well, I guess I'll just do yard work. They're like 24 hours. Yeah. 24 hours and still the power isn't on. Like, what the crap is going on? That should not be happening. We have people from DPW that have chainsaws. We can hire tree people to cut down whatever tree limbs there were. And then AES needs to bring in their outside contractors to fix whatever it's supposed to be fixed. But this is like standard. This is like standard operating procedure. Tree limb falls on power line. Get tree limb off power line. Reconnect power line. Biggity bam. Should be like a couple of hours, 5 or 6, 12 at the very most. We're at 30 hours before it finally got power back on. They would have had power. So true for Rob to get pulled by. He'd have to agree to a softball. Oh, I know for sure. Don't worry. We're going to be talking about that towards the end. I got that up on the docket. Yeah, I mean, I think Bo and Nick Roberts is supposed to be on there Monday. Dude, if you guys want to see some fireworks, get me on there. That's how you take care of this whole thing. And it's all vague. We're going to talk about the political article as well. All right. So anyway, that was my my tangent right now. And by the way, the mayor and the city council can make sure this kind of crap doesn't happen again. And what I mean by that, like, it should not be 30 hours. It should be 12 hours. And I will. Should I just tell you? Should I just tell you why? Because everybody keeps asking, like, what do you mean the city council and the mayor can do something? It's called leverage. It's called leverage. Let's see. Indianapolis. Basically their own IEDC. All right. So Indy Economic Development, I think they took over for some other one, and then they changed the name. And now it's called Indy Economic Development, which is basically Indianapolis' own IEDC. And why do I say that? Well, because the person that was in charge of it, that they're not anymore, which was Jim Schellinger. Now, Jim Schellinger was the CEO, and he was also the former president of the IEDC. And now here you have the interim president, CEO, Andrea Richter Gary, who I think actually comes from IEDC as well. Hold on, let me check. I'm pretty sure she was. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Senior Vice President, Global Strategy Engagement. So you got 2 IEDC people back to back for CEOs. Now, what you're asking is like, well, how do you use leverage for this whole thing? Well, who is the secretary of the Indy Economic Development? Brandy Davis Handy, who is what? President of AES Indiana. The same electric people that's in charge of trying to make sure we have power, trying to take care of all of this. Now, the big deal about the IED right now are the data centers. Now, who's going to be the people that benefit the most off of the data centers? AES, right? So you have AES, who's the secretary of the Indy Economic Development, wanting data centers. But however, if there is like a branch that falls off and takes out most of the West Side electricity, how are we supposed to trust you at all to make sure that power gets restored to all of us? And who was it? Brad is completely right. If it was a data center, they would already have power within an hour. Well, they also have like 200 diesel generators that could take care of all that. I know what they need. They asked for 30 more days. Yeah, lawsuits are a son of a bitch, that's for sure. They love dragging their feet. So anyway, that's what I mean by the leverage. Now, if you are the president, if you want this, so hey, you're supposed to prove to me that you can handle your company, not 30 hours later. Anyway, by the way, there's no mayor-appointed members on that. That should be a major red flag. Hold on.
Of cops, it sounded like an apparent gun shooting. We saw folks get down to the ground, and after those shots rung out, I actually looked at the dais, and I saw President Trump, and he hadn't yet been evacuated. This, of course, just happened a couple of seconds.
He was just chilling like a
really
G.
Quick timing. Secret Service moved to remove him from the room, and then we saw them trying to basically climb over the table.
All right, well, nothing, basically. All right, so let's move into the docket, huh? We're going to talk about the mayor's race too, because we got 2 more people that were announced in like the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And one of the big issues is going to be the homeless. Now, I really like Mayor Indy in the way that you like a dipshit liberal brother, because all they do is talk about No, the homeless situation or the sometimes the roads, but they never really have like deep dives on the things that Indie Reporter will post on, like the OPHS. And the only reason why that whole OPHS thing happened was because of Michael Paul Hart. I will give his flowers on that one. That was some very good information. But the fact that nobody is talking about it is a major red flag. People like Mirror Indie are hiding it. And by the way, the pundits aren't talking about it either. This is why Indie Reporter is the best, because we punch in all directions. It's not just like, well, we're going to beat up on the Republicans or we're going to beat up on the Democrats. Oh, no, we're also going to beat up on libertarians as well. We're beating up on everybody. But going back to this article, I hate how we get categorized. Indie Woman reflects on 4 years of homelessness. It's so funny. She looks like a crackhead, okay? But then in the article, she actually talks about, it's like, I don't like how people, how they categorize us. Where is it? People like to steal, blah, blah, blah. I hate how we are categorized. They find that you're homeless is like, you must be a dope fiend. They are common insults, she said, such as crackhead or you people. You can feel the judgment that comes with hauling tote boxes and other belongings in a wagon. Well, are you a crackhead or are you a dope fiend? I think the questions that they have to be asked. Just saying. Just saying. All right. FSSA seeks return of $200 million in improper payments to attendant care. Now, I did find the immediate release. I don't wish I can sign up for updates from FSSA. I probably can, but they have a whole immediate release for the news about the whole thing. And they said the audits identified $198 million in extrapolated improper payments, including interest and systemic compliance failures across the review period of 2022 to 2025. That's crazy. That it was only for 3 years, and they found $200 million. Imagine if they went back farther. Now, I wanted to know who the names were, and fortunately, who was this? Mackenzie Clement from Indie Capital Chronicle were able to get the names from them right here. Medicaid, it was all of these. Now, as you guys know, I went through InBiz to try and find out who these people were. Problem is, a lot of them use the same name, so until like I get a little bit more detailed information, I'm basically stuck in the water. But back in 24, Suzanne Crouch, then Lieutenant Governor, calls for the FSA audit following the $1 billion shortfall Medicaid changes. Now, this has been going on for a while with the Holcomb administration, which we all kind of knew. It's extremely important that the $1 billion error that FSSA made to not put on the back of these children and families. Now, fortunately, we do have legislation that got passed to try and rein in some of this, especially with people that should not be on there, or making sure that they are having the minimum requirement. Like, work requirement is such a low number of hours that you have to do that you are actually allowed to do volunteer work as well. So all these people are like, well, I don't have time for this. Like, you don't have 20 hours to spare for volunteer work? Really? Okay, bullshit. It'll be interesting of where this whole thing goes, though. I don't think I will be able to help that much unless I actually have the specific businesses that are doing it. I found I think I found 2 of them, but like, I don't have any data, so I can't really go through it. I'm going to let the experts handle it. You guys finding too many. After means no pre-checks before issuing. Yeah. After means no pre-checks before issuing payments. Yeah, that is the most interesting part, right? Because what got brought up, let me bring this up real quick. Because this was talked about a lot, during this whole Medicaid thing, was a lot of the laws that we're seeing is overcharges and actually had another thing. Since the power went out, everything's gone. I don't have anything. I don't have any of my tabs. I took me I had to rush to get all these tabs open. Let's see. And also HB 1177 expands eligibility to get tax credit if the money is also owned, but also this is created way. Okay, well, that's part of it. There were 2 different parts of 1177. I think it was verifying with the patient to make sure that the services were being done. So it was like, hey, if this operator says, well, we're going to charge you 5 hours, but they only did 2 hours, the patient is asked to see, like, hey, did you do 5 hours or 2 hours? Like, I only did 2 hours. Might have even been an hour and a half to double check all this stuff. But same thing that was happening with the SB1. There was a lot of talk in committee about, oh, well, you know what? It's not really the people that are on that the problem is. It's all the providers that are the problem of them overcharging with hours. What was the other stuff? Verifications that they did the work. There was really no oversight. And this is why I've been saying for a long time, man. Like, we just need to get rid of all of it. We need to get rid of Medicaid. We need to get rid of welfare. Any kind of taxpayer subsidized program, we just need to get rid of, because it has been abused and defrauded so much that there's really no way of fixing it. It's totally over. There's no way. And the bottom line is, even when, like, in Minnesota, where that guy stole like $1 million, he's only going to be in jail for a year. And how much is he actually paying back on that? Probably not $1 million. So you basically, hey, you go to jail. Actually, I think it was less than a year. Might have been like 4 or 5 months. And it's like, hey, you get $1 million. You just have to be in the booty house for 4 or 5 months. Not really that big of a deal after all. Like, is he going to pay any of that money back? I don't know. But that's why I say we just need to get rid of all of it. I don't want any of it. Hey, not all of us are going to make it. That's all I can say. Hate to break it to you, but not all of us are going to make it. All right, let's talk about Micah Beckwith. Dude, what is going on with Beckwith? Is he just bored or something? All right, so I got kind of a tip that this was going to happen. Let me just break it down. There was like a Westfield band, and they were dressed up in some goth crap. And Beckwith kind of lost him, like called it satanic, I think. Bring it on. And then, so I don't know if he deleted it or not. It seemed like Nikki Kelly had a hard time trying to find it, but Beckwith went on Whoa for Caleb Blacksley. And he's like, bring it on, I'm right and they're wrong. Beckwith noted his initial post was prompted by Christian students at Westfield High School who felt uncomfortable with the indoor percussion show but were afraid to speak out. He also claimed he did not delete the original post. Okay, so it was not deleted, allegedly. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, you guys know me. I think by now you guys know me well enough. I call balls and strikes. If, like, I think something's a nothing burger, I'll just say it. I think, obviously, this went way above and beyond. Like, who cares, man? Like, look, were they dressed up in emo wear or goth wear? And then you're calling it satanic? It was the Westfield High School. It's not a Christian high school, right? It's just a public high school. He could be, I know, Steve. I know, it's so disappointing. Dude, the people very close to me are just like shaking their head. It's like, what happened to Micah? And then in the same breath, they're like, what happened to Rob? I was like, I don't know. I think they were visited by people in black suits is what happened. I think this was a major L for Micah, but kind of tracks, right? He could be so much better. And I've said it before, he should have been harping on the IADC since day one. And you guys already know my theory on that. And actually, I found it. I found Governor LG. There we go. Who could have seen any of this coming? This is it. This is what my theory was, the Faith-Based Institutions Initiative. So when Beckwith, in 25, because it was budget year, he had to give his budget and what he wanted to do. So he wanted an extra $3 million for this Faith-Based Institution Initiative. And I don't know if it actually got approved or not. So coincidentally, Beckwith kind of stopped laying on the IEDC, but that was one of the things that he was really heavy on. And Brad, I think you can confirm with me on that too. Beckwith was very hard on the IEDC, saying we need to take it down brick by brick. It shouldn't exist anymore. And then all of a sudden he gets in the office and less than a year later, he's not talking about it anymore. Then all of a sudden, this audit comes out. No, he is quiet on it, and I know he'll say, "It's like, oh, what are you talking about? I talked about it in Jerry Lopez's show." He's like, "Yeah, because I asked him for him to ask you about it. That's why." But he's never gone out of his way to talk about the audit, and which is a major red flag. So, fast forward after the audit, nobody's really talking anything about it anymore, especially Micah. And then Braun comes out with this: "Hey, we're going to spend." How much was the million? What was the magic number? $3 million on this faith-based institution thing, the thing that Micah wanted, but I don't think he ever got. And now, hey, as long as you stay quiet about the IADC, then we'll give you this thing. That's my theory. Pretty sure he pretty much gave up on I mean, it is what it is with the property tax at this point. You know, we're not going to get any better. I'm telling you right now, the only way for the property tax thing to change is you have to get better senators in there. And because on the Democrat side, they'll just bitch about it's like, well, we're not getting X amount of money to waste. Okay, well, I mean, I got my property tax bill basically saved like $3. I didn't get any change at all, man. It kind of is what it is. So yeah, I mean, kind of an L for this thing. But speaking of L, Rip Hamilton County. Now you are getting two new businesses with close ties to Fisher's Arab and Muslim communities have opened recently, one offering nuts, candy, and specialty beverages, and the other featuring traditional Palestinian menu items with an American twist. It's halal, but with Western culture. Dude, there's no way that I would trust anything that comes out of here. I hate to tell you. You guys can have your Nuttopia. The times are crazy. Nuttopia is open 10 a.m. daily and stays open through 11 p.m. weeknights and 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. What the fuck is that? That's crazy. You're going to have like a candy store open until 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday? Who are these people? Who is going to be like, hey, you know what I could really go for? A nut shake at midnight. Okay, maybe for prego people, but not for the normies. Hate to break it to you, but hey, you know what? As long as you guys are getting your falafel, right? The falafel. There we go. Let's see. You know, and then go back to what Brad was saying. I've kind of given up on the whole property tax thing. Let's move on to something else that at least we can do. I think the low-hanging fruit right now is the IADC, and it's about Elevate Ventures. It's about this, Iron Nation right now is probably, everybody's afraid to talk about this because they're afraid to sound anti-Semite. Dude, we should not be giving $15 million to any foreign country, especially those that don't have a business in Indiana. Just the opportunity. Hey, we might have a chance that any of these startups might have opened a business in Indiana. Do you guys remember the rules of the IEDC? They are not supposed to invest or for a startup give any money unless that business is in Indiana. And now they just completely gone off the reservation with this Iron Nation deal. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about that. Kendall would look like a G if he talked about the Iron Nation thing, but I think it's a little over his head. Hey, just bring me on. Hey, this is how Kendall will fix it. Bring me on, bail on Abdul, and that idiot Merritt. Sounds like he's having a stroke every time that he talks. And bring me and Ben Verbanek on. That's how you fix this whole thing. All right, let's talk about this Ohio Turnpike deal. Do you guys hear about this? What was it? 315 commercial trucking companies in multiple states that owe $5,000 or more. I think, yeah, they owe $5.2 million over these 315 commercial trucking companies. $5.2 million were in unpaid tolls and collections. Now, I know some of you guys are like, oh, whatever. You know what? Some people don't want to pay tolls. Good on them. You know who's going to have to make up for that money? We are. This is what people do not understand. When one thing does not get paid, especially $5.2 million, they're going to have to make up that money somehow. So who is it going to be? Well, the fools like me and all of you that are just good and sweet little guys that are going to pay the tolls automatically. Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. Attacking nonprofits would easily buy a politician. Oh, without a doubt, dude. And I'm giving it to him. That's the worst part. All right. I'm glad Steve said this. I'm really happy. I'm glad. Ah, crap. That's all right. I'll grab it here in a second. Drop my gum. All right. Elevate Ventures is a perfect example. I'm hoping that their ProPublica is working finally. That would be really nice. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to do. I think I have too many tabs open. I'm just going to have to go for it. I'm sorry. I should have done the Luke Messer thing. Hoping that this frees up. I'm out. Ah, right. All right. Elevate Ventures. This is, remember, that was under the IDC audit. Now, fortunately, I wish they had their 25 one, but beggars can't be apparently. All right, so obviously we had IED state contract, 6.5 million. Rally Innovation Conference, 1.3 is what they generated, even though it's off of our backs. Now, what we get to see is the where the money is going. They should be, I think it's on here of the places that are getting the money. On the bottom. Yeah, right here. Okay, so one of them is Purdue. No. Okay, this is what I don't understand. And I should go further on it, but I'm not there yet. I know in 2023 they gave money to 912, and then 912 you can see dispersed it to like meat markets and confectionery places, especially tied to Christie Risk. Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership is $330,000. Now they're saying it's a direct regional grant. Here's the problem, though. They are nothing but a regional economy booster, basically. That is not a startup. How do we get our investment back from that? Elevate Ventures is supposed to invest. Here we go. Innovation voucher from Indiana University Research in Detroit, Michigan, or whatever that means. A couple innovation and then direct regional grants. Circular on in Evansville. Actually, I'm curious. I'm kind of curious what I'm thinking about. Circular Venture Lab. There we go. We build ventures driven by purpose and focus on bettering communities. What the fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? That's a bunch of word slop again. Logan Jenkins, Leroy Jenkins, Circular Venture Lab. All right, well, that's a big. Sounds like crap. He also serves at the Indiana Center for Emerging Technology. Sounds like another. Anyway, that is what we should be talking about. It's like, when are we going to get our return on investment? And what people also aren't talking about was when Dan Elliott, he had a meeting with like the 21st Century Fund people, everybody part of the IADC with giving money. And Dan Elliott asked, like, well, how do we harvest this money back? How do we get the investment money back? So it looks like, hey, taxpayers are investing all this stuff. When do the taxpayers get their money back? And they were basically like, maybe we should take that money and invest it in other things. Who could say? It's like, but what about the taxpayers? And Dan Elliott, to his credit, was going to bat and was like, we want our money back. That's just the whole point. Like, how many tens of millions of dollars have we given to these nonprofits or these venture startups or insert here and have not received any ROI? And you know what they'll say? It's like, well, they were boosting up the economy. Okay, so how do we measure that? How do we get our money back? Because now we're going to have to pay in high electric rates. Then we're going to have to pay in tolls. And then if this Bears thing happens, we're definitely going to have to pay more in tolls. So, I don't know. Anyway, hold on. It looks like something might be going on.
This is a room full of reporters, so I know you've already seen the president's tweet. My apologies, his post on Truth Social. And law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol.
There we go.
And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes.
There we go.
That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days.
There we go. Yeah, show must go on. Yeah.
And that he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to continue despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it.
I do.
And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody is safe, and thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
Woo! Anyway, all right, wonderful. All right, so there is a video. What do we got here?
Stay behind the perimeter. Do not cross that gate.
I don't care.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yes. Back up.
She's being detained.
You're not listening.
Oh, okay. He rushes the barricade at the White House. Anything else we got going here? Oh, stuck. Okay, looks like nothing. He was feet away from the house where a dinner shooting, so he's thrown to the ground by police. Okay, hold on.
I walked out to simply go to the men's room near me, and apparently I could hear you fine. It's very, very...
Well. That's it. Haven't found anything yet. Let me know if you guys, if there's anything. Put in the chat if you do. Yeah, take her away. Sorry, lady. You're out of here. Oh, is she still talking?
I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do.
Yeah, just out of just announcing out of Henry County, Sproles is on his way.
So, thank God everybody's safe.
Yeah. Anyway, there we go. De Niro died? Nah, did he really die? Hold on. I saw something about De Niro, but I didn't see exactly what was. Oh, shit! Oh, no, he's not. Been killed in the lobby. White. No. Yeah, how did somebody get rest in peace? Oh, no, it's a troll. Oh, man, what a troll. What an absolute banger of a troll. Let's see. There's gonna be videos. I already know it. Let's see. Shooter, maybe. Let's do this. Someone's probably got footage of the shooter, right? First image of the alleged shooter, White House. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. Hold on. Okay, we got multiples. First footage. All right, so this is what they're saying right now. They're saying that this is the shooter, allegedly, but they said the shooter was dead. That does not look like a cold body. His career died. Yeah. Other than that, I don't see anything. So. Oh, what's this? Fox News reports that shots were fired by Secret Service, not by the shooter. That the would-be shooter was trying to rush past the magnetometer and was shot by Secret Service. Oh, okay. So he's not dead, allegedly. Shooter in custody. Shooter is dead. All right. So don't trust CNN, basically. Don't trust Caitlin Collins. That's what it sounds like. Okay, well, there we go. At least they're keeping them warm and comfy. So it sounds like they were not dead. It sounds like they just got shot. All right, there we go. Commentary of someone in law for shots fired.
It is now a crime scene. Secret Service is in custody, has the person in custody. Everything's okay. One shooter, no, we know so far. Everybody's good.
Everybody's good. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, Brad, that's a meme right there. People are saying, don't try to rush in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, what a bunch of dopes to be. What a bunch of dopes. Shooter. Just make. So they're all sane. Hold on. Okay, so now we got a new update. Coordination with them investigating a shooting incident near the main magnetometers. Okay. So they tried. Okay, so that's what it sounds like. Shooters in custody, some dope. Was it Mossad? Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's go back to going back to what was going on. All right, so back to this Ohio turnpike thing. I'll keep situated too. When Trump comes on in 30 minutes, I'll probably put on the video. I'm guessing it'll be from White House or something. Oh no, there it is. News.
Nonsense and secure.
All right. So there was one particular one that was interesting. I think it was something. Yeah, Galaxy Plates Incorporated in Indiana. $53,000 in unpaid tolls. Now I looked them up. Go figure. It's an Indian in Greenwood. Some Singh or Bangladesh or whatever, some Mahinder. And yeah, I went and checked out the other ones. A couple of them weren't even the orchestra and plate noise. Yeah. Well, you know, the other thing too is like a lot of people don't know what gunshots sound like. Like, it's easy to mistake it for fireworks. But now what are they going to do? It's like, I was there that night. Where were you when some dope tried rushing security? Yeah, I know, Brad. That's totally thought. That was the first thing I thought of. Like, here come all the, oh, it's an op. Trump's numbers aren't looking good, so we need to boost up his ratings. We got this crazy guy. It was all staged. I already know. I saw it coming a mile away. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. Speaking of data, hold on. Okay, so Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish. Listen, going back to Jerry though, love Jerry to death. Some people are like, "Is there beef between you and Jerry?" No, man. I was just starting some crap. I was like, why am I not allowed to comment? Why is Indie Reporter not allowed to comment? Rob Kendall allows Indie Reporter to comment. But why does Jerry not allow it? But anyway. So there was just the first person that I saw. It was from Corey Wood. And by the way, Corey Wood and Ascent Strategic are part of Baird's team. So they must be worried about Craig Haggard. So they're saying data center super PAC supporting Craig Haggard fails to properly report expenditures with FEC. They said the political committee Liberty Unchained Super PAC has been making independent expenditures in support of Craig Haggard, but has not properly disclosed those expenditures as required under federal law. Yeah, I don't know. And of course, you know the Craig Haggard stuff, Brad in Indiana. Yeah, Brad is in, where you at, Brad? In Anderson or something? Somewhere up north. But then Corey Wood goes, Craig Haggard is bought and paid for a wannabe politician bankrolled by data centers in their seat. He appears to have profited. What? He appears to have profited from selling farmland to them, co-authored HB 1333 to hand them more power. Whilst here's the funny thing. Bo Baird also voted in favor of HB 1333. It's so dumb. I mean, you really can't make this up. Public records have previously shown Craig Haggard listed as the real estate agent on farmland being sold to AES to support a data center development. He also co-authored HB 1333, legislative criticized for weakening local control. Damn, that's crazy. Public records have previously Craig Haggard listed as a real estate agent. I didn't even know Craig Haggard was a real estate agent. Can you check that? Real estate license check? Is that true? Can you do that? Verification? Profession? Real estate? I don't care. I just want the Haggard. Oh. License. Salesperson? All. Yeah. Can I do all? Oh, I can do all? Okay. All on here too? Yeah, we're going to do all, baby. Yeah, I want to see if Craig Haggard's a midwife too. Why is it not work? Oh, here we go. Craig Haggard. Oh, he is a real estate broker. No shit. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, Craig Haggard is a real estate broker from 2022. Interesting. It expires this. Can we see real estate broker company? The name is Real Estate Monkey. Oh, no way. Hold on. There's no way. You named a real estate broker the Real Estate Monkey. I think that can't be right. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Related licenses. Okay, that's what I thought. Damn, that's crazy. Craig Haggard really is. Does he own a business? Hold on. That's wild. I don't know if any of this is true, by the way. I just think it's funny. Friends. Martinsville. Held chart. West Building Company. Oh, for NRA, foreign legal name. Oh, he's part of the board, right? Yeah. Hotel Charlie. Hotel. I don't know. Kind of crazy, though, right? Friends of Hidalgo. You know. Martinsville. Huh. Interesting. Anyway. I will be looking more into that if I get, if we got nothing else. Speaking of data centers, though, so the DMD are going to be taking suggestions next week. I think they have like 2 Zoom meetings, maybe, about this, their new data center restrictions and zoning rules. And they're creating a special district called SU47. And it's a carve-out built specifically for data centers. And it's only allowed in heavy industrial area, prohibited everywhere else in a single-use district. So this is a zoning specifically for data centers. Now, I'm at least happy they have a minimum on it. Tommy Ice in the chat, let's go. I'm at least glad that they have a starting point. Okay, so April 28th and April 30th, they'll have virtual meetings, which yours truly will be attending. So next Tuesday and Thursday, I think it's like in the middle of the day too. Basically, it's all the things that they all are already doing. Noise capped at 65 decibels, 200-foot buffer from protected areas. By the way, 200 feet isn't that long, isn't that far. If you guys do not know. Must be hidden 10-foot walls, beams. Now, what I've been seeing of a lot of rendering, especially in Indianapolis, one of them was they're building like a hill. so it helps with the noise and the site of a data center. And I think it'll probably helps. Like, you guys have to understand, they're coming, so you have to decide which shit sandwich you're going to eat. My biggest argument is that they get massive tax rebates, and I don't like that. If I have to pay, you have to pay. If your argument is going to be, think of all the money the area is going to see, well, you're going to have contractors and construction workers in there that most likely don't live in Marion County. Let's just say Indianapolis, for example. Then so you're not collecting any kind of income tax. You're being a massive burden for the area. It's basically being treated as a mining town, treated as a prostitute. We're going to be here for 3 years, maybe less, and we're going to build this thing. And we're going to drain all of your resources without really getting anything in return for it. And on top of that, the property tax abatement is going to be for 25 years, maybe, depending if it's a TIF. Maybe there we go. Exactly. Thank you, Travis. See, TIF dollars. Exactly. If it's in a TIF, it's automatically going to be getting 25 years on it. So, there's a lot of all these conversations that we have to talk about. And listen, I understand like the data center thing. And when we talk about data center, we're primarily talking about hyperscale, not talking about cloud, not talking about data centers that are just handling payroll, because we've had data centers for a very, very long time, 80 years or something. But we aren't using the data centers that we're talking about are the ones in like New Carlisle that is consuming as much energy as a third of the single family homes in Indiana. And we're getting a couple more of those. Those are the ones we're talking about. The ones that have AI in them. We don't know what is being stored on there, like flock camera footage, all of this stuff. So when we talk about data centers, we have to make sure that we are talking about it. But with that being said, if we have to pay property taxes, you got to pay property taxes. You got to make it worth our while. The water thing we can figure out. That's probably not as big as of a deal as it is. The sound thing we could probably figure out. It's just basically going to be a warehouse. That's what it's going to look like. And we can set up rules for it. You know what? Give me the money. All right? Give me the money. I do like how they're going to be having like decommissioning things. And besides, we all know this thing's a giant op. It's a massive bubble that we'll end up having to pay for at the end. All right. So yeah, April 28th and April 30th. Do I have? This is what they were talking about, and then they have it. They actually have a webpage on the Indy.gov website. So if you want to learn more about it, they have frequently asked questions. They have the draft copy of the zoning regulations, and submit a public comment. I'm sure those are going splendid. I love all these people that are just like, especially the not the conservationists, but like the extreme climate change people is like, oh, it's going to cause so much pollution. Maybe. We don't know, Is it, what are you going to do? Have solar in there? What are they going to do? Power the parking lamps? That's about it. Oh, man, it's so good. For how much energy you think, how many solar panels, like we already have like fields and fields of solar panels in Indiana. Has that decreased your electricity rate at all? Are you getting cheaper utility electricity with those solar panels in that area? Honest question. That's what I'd like to know. All right, let's talk about the mayor's race, shall we? Now, Andrea Hunley, we all kind of knew this was happening. We've known about it for at least a year. I saw Abdul was like, I talked about this in January's cheat sheet. Dude, we've been talking about it for over a year, okay? We knew this was happening. We just weren't sure how she was going to do it. My honest opinion was that, and I'll show you too, I think she knew this was happening 2 years ago. And here's my theory on it. I don't have the footage for it right now. I could pull it up. It would take me a second. All right, so back in 2024, there was an election meeting. Basically, hey, we're trying to get these people kicked off, or if you're trying to get an opinion from the election commission. Now, one of the things on that during that election commission meeting was an opinion from the commission on if campaign finances can be used for childcare. Now, normally, I don't really care about what people spend their campaign reports. They've already donated to you. Kind of use your money as you want to. That's your money. With that being said, the question was from Andrea Hunley and Victoria Wilburn, who's an absolute bitch. They're like one of the worst people in the entire world. So Andrea Hunley says she's not running for re-election, which we knew that was the code for I'm running for mayor. And so who is now replacing it is a guy named Cliff, and also Alyssa Impink, who is a school board member, I think, for IPS. Basically, whoever wins that primary, which is probably going to be Alyssa Impink, they will be the senator replacing Hunley. Now, what's interesting about this is under here, there was an itemized expenditure for what purpose? Child care for an event. So that tells me that they knew back in 2024 during that election thing that they were probably going to need child care, and they wanted to get the opinion. So if they used an expenditure, they weren't going to be fined or whatever, get in trouble for it, basically. So that's my theory on that. Now let's go back to Andrea Hunley, because she is the ultimate skinwalker. Not even joking around either. You know that like Key and Peele sketch where like Obama's like dabbing up everybody, all the blacks, and then all of a sudden they come to a white person like, nice to meet you there. You know, basically what Andrea Hunley is. The total fake is what she is. Now, she was on the Black Briefing, and I want to give a, hold on.
Getting all these people into the building.
Okay. Basically, this has by far the most racist podcast there is, just talking about like this chick right here. She does not even look black. And by the way, Hunley is obviously half black, and so is this broad right here. This fat broad right here is totally half black as well. Now in this, it was 40. Now, I do want to bring up two things on here, which is actually hilarious. Where is it? She talks about early on about her being in the Senate. Okay, yeah. An article, whether he's going to be. Hold on. Okay, here it is. So in one of the questions was about, hey, well, I'll just let her ask it.
Be some years.
So it took 30 years for some people to get.
So there's a lot of criticism around, well, what has she actually gotten through? What has she actually done? And I remember your first year getting bills heard. Mm-hmm. And we have some folks that have been, 30 some years.
So it took 30 years for some people to get
their first bill heard.
Now, I'm not going to say that it's easy, right? Because we are in the super minority. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, I'm a woman. And oh, by the way, I'm black. So let's talk about minority many times over. Right. It is hard to do work in that space. It
clearly says that, hey, guess what? I'm a woman and I'm black. So I can't get bills to go through. Listen, there are a lot of people that are in office right now that can't get bills across the finish line. Andrew Ireland is a perfect example. There's a lot of freshmen who did not even get a bill passed until their second or third year if they won their re-election. By the way, if you one of Andrea Hunley's first bills was I've had a vest on, no pay. One of Andrea Hunley's first bills, where is it? Back in 23, was right here, was on marriage. Now, repeal statutory text that restricts a marriage to be between only a male and a female. Repeal statutory text that provides that a marriage between persons of the same gender is void in Indiana. Maybe it has nothing. Oh, did really? Was that gang, Steve? So if you're going to bitch, it's like, oh, it's because I'm a black woman that I can't get bills. Maybe it's because you have garbage bills, Hunley. The people elected you to try and better their lives, right? Always the cliche saying, I want to leave it better than where I found it. And this is what your priority is: repealing statutory text that provides that a marriage between a person of the same gender is void in Indiana. That's what you're most focused on. Nothing about property taxes, nothing about the gas tax, nothing about utilities. It's about gender stuff and basically gay stuff. So right here you can see there's a couple of ones that were okay, I guess. The Vision Task Force is completely dumb. And of course, you got Dan Dernlick. I hope he loses his primary, and then Blake Dorio. The whole Vision Task Force is ridiculous. I should talk about that next week if I remember. Holly in the chat, let's go. All right, so I don't know. I don't know why the dog's freaking. Because they heard something, that's why. Let me check the camera. Should be online now. Oh, because someone across the street, because the Mexicans were freaking out. That's why. Because they heard the doors from the Mexicans across the street. All right, so also then they talk about the mayor. You guys probably remember this clip. Where is it? We were talking about a couple.
Yeah. So Indianapolis, it's next year, 2027. But I hear from you. What kind of qualities do you think our next mayor absolutely must have?
My long pause, because I really have been thinking a lot about this, and I think that we need a mayor who can recognize what the challenges are today, who sees the challenges, and then can help set a vision for what tomorrow's opportunities are going to be. See today's challenges, acknowledge them.
It's the fucking Mexicans
say
across
them,
the street.
and then let's get together and work on building that coalition towards those opportunities for tomorrow. Our city has so much potential.
All right, so let's go. Obviously it's going to be the massive word slop. Let me show you the other part. This is the one I found.
So we wouldn't be the Black Briefing if we didn't ask this. What does the next mayor need to do for the Black community?
Amen. How about be Black?
Oh, mic drop. Oh, what are the Black community going to get? They're going to get a Black mayor. Actually, you're half Black. Okay, first off. Second off, the Black community needs to help take care of themselves and stop shooting each other. That would be the absolute benefit that you guys can do for yourselves. Also, it doesn't seem like any of the money that is being spent on the Black community is actually bettering the Black community. Zionsville funded Wild Style. Is that part of that whole gang thing? Yeah, what a bunch of ridiculous crap. So also, speaking of Wild Style, I wanted to bring this up. He was talking about criminalizing homelessness, and I was like, what are you talking about? Right here.
Noticed this even about the data centers. Years ago, I remember Proposition 256 about they were trying to criminalize the homelessness.
Yeah.
And
they were not trying to do any of that. I remember that because there were two different propositions. There was one from, I think, Michael Paul Hart in early 2020 or 2021, and then it came back a year or two later with Leroy Robinson. And it was not about criminalizing homelessness. It was because you had all these people that wanted to give food to the homeless people. And you know what the homeless people were doing? Exactly what homeless people do. They were just throwing it on the ground and littering everywhere. That was the problem. So what they wanted to do was basically have registrations and have specific areas of where you can have the food at. And right here, we're not, Brian Sullivan says he raised his family in his area for a reason. We're not squeamish to anything that happens downtown. We wanted to live in an area that is diverse and represents the whole community. They said something just changed on the list. These groups come downtown, park, and start passing out food. Dozens of people show up, and then there's trash everywhere. That's what it was about. So obviously, Keith Pascal, a.k.a. Wildstyle, does not know what the fuck he's talking about because he's a dope. A fat one at that. And so Also, there was a bunch of fights. I think there was some lady that got stabbed at one of these things, if I remember right, and she ended up dying. So it was about registering these people that, hey, we're going to have food, we're going to have clothing, and as they say, basic stuff. So then they just wanted them to register with the city. And because there was a problem with litter and violence back then. That's all it was. Which, fuck them, honestly. Hey, here's an idea. Have it at your house. Tell you what, just round them all up and then take them to your home. It's that simple. All right. Speaking of, though, when I was pointing this out, this is from Indianapolis Monthly, the family condo from 2019. This got sent over to me, and I was dying. All right. So when her family lived in historic Butler, Tarleton, Andrea Hunley could have knocked on multiple doors to borrow the proverbial cup of sugar. But after they moved into a quiet downtown condo and she needed a cilantro for tacos, she took the elevator 5 floors down and hit up her neighbors at Adobe Grill, the lively Mexican restaurant. They were so good to us. And then they talk about how these condos are like $300,000. Oh, yeah, the average condo lists for $300,000, and you have HOA fees, which range from $443 to over $1,200. How do you afford that on a teacher's salary? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Like, you got a $300,000 condo, and I don't know if this is, I'm guessing this is yearly of how they're doing it, between the 443 and 1,200. So her husband, by the way, that's her husband, a white dude. And by the way, in this picture, Andrea Hunley looks Mexican. And obviously, this is an older one from a while ago, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, you were showing her kids, blah, blah, blah. Dude, she was the one posting up her children, all right? So if you want to yell at anybody, yell at Andrea Hunley. Let's see, Trump is soon to speak, and then we'll go back. So, yeah, if you're gonna say she was a principal, yeah, she was an IPS principal. And then, by the way, you can see, oh, here we go.
Rob, can you hear us? Ed and Bianca here in the studio. All right.
All right. Once Trump comes on here, I'll show you. I'll bring it up. Oops. And you can see how much she's making, by the way. And she even talked about on the Black Briefing how she only works like, technically she only works 4 months. Let me show you how much she got paid last year. $92,000 she was paid last year. Almost $93,000 for 4 months of work. That's your taxpayer money. Even before, and I think that's because she was like part of the leadership. Well, let me show you in 2024 then. Indiana. Where is it? 23. We'll just do 23. She was making $76,000. All right, for 4 months of work. Really? And then when she worked for IPS, she was, hold on. Yeah. I think she was at elementary school. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Yeah. She was a principal, though. That's the principal right here in 20. Making $121,000. I guess so. I guess her husband got to be making a bunch of money, too. Which is really funny because I remember when Mears was running for prosecutor in 22, Mears had used Andrea Hunley's husband for something. I saw the expenditure on it. So yeah, obviously rolling in that baller money, making $75,000. Actually, what? Hold on. What's her husband's? Ryan Hunley. That'll be a tough. Let's see if Andrea Hunley. But then she like puts her hair in cornrows. Oh, here we go. EVP strategy. So she has her own strategic business, by the way, called BVP Strategies. Go figure. By the way, all public information, so eat it. If you guys don't like it. This is what a lot of legislators will do. I saw Blake Johnson. I think it's like some like 3 blue bow tie. I think that's what it's called. Some bullshit consulting business or strategic business. What's going on here? Am I hacked? Did Mossad get a? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. What did I just see? I just saw Cindy Carrasco. political organization for women's education and representation. So she's on this thing. Okay. So Carrasco is the whatever, you know. Oh, I know what I did wrong because I didn't hit back search. Anyway, so yeah, so she has her own thing. I should see. Hold on. Is there an expenditure for B strategies? Let's do this real quick. That'd be so funny if there was. Okay. And the problem is too is like on the go up. Okay, there we go. So the problem is with like Indianapolis is they have everything's done through paper. So it's not like the Indiana campaign stuff where I can just look it up real quick. So anyway, she's running for mayor. Obviously, it's going to be a huge problem. Basically, it's her, VOP, and then this guy, the third candidate, who is, what the hell is his name? Some fat guy. Who is it? VOP, David Bride. He's a former union leader, also launched his campaign for Indianapolis mayor. No Republican has thrown their hat in the ring at this point. Dude, because nobody wants to run. They're going to have to find some sacrificial lamb like they did with Philip Faust. And by the way, they are the county party is totally fucking that up right now. I checked the pre-primary campaign reports came out. There is really nobody helping him at all. Natalie Goodwin is dropping the ball big time. And now I found out why. I found out what the whole master plan is, but I can't say it. I have to wait a little bit. But anyway, I imagine that they're going to be putting all their eggs in the basket for the mayor's race because they're going to want all their campaign consultants to get paid. Also, don't forget, we don't know if Joe Hogsett is going to run for a fourth term. I hope to God that Joe Hogsett runs for a fourth term and wins the primary because the debate is going to be so much fun. Oh God, and also like the I think Hogsett has over $1 million in the coffers so far, and someone said that he just had a fundraiser the other day. So for a guy who's not running for office, it is really interesting that he's having a fundraiser. So Bob was supposed to be the guy that takes over for Hogsett, but what I heard was that Hogsett was upset with VOP that he basically got thrown under the bus with that whole woman that got kicked out of that meeting, out of the city county meeting. And so far, yeah. So we got Hunley, we got VOP, and we got this fat dude, David Bride. There's no way that he's going to be doing any door knocking. He's basically going to be like Abdul and end up in the hospital. He's the former president of the Central Indiana AFL-CIO. So the union people of how much money they're going to be spending on that. I mean, we all know it's going to be a crazy amount of money. And right now he is the administrator of the Department of Public Works Stormwater Division. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very expensive primary. Doesn't run. Can he keep the money? Sort of. Yeah, he can keep the money. Yeah, that's not a problem. You just keep refiling your campaign reports. And I'll tell you how it's probably going to work, Tommy, is that he's going to put the money into different things until it gets completely bled down. And we saw that with Ballard. I'll show you what Ballard did with his when he finally closed out his account. So he closed it out in 2023, which is funny because I think he moved to North Carolina in 22. But he gave the last of it to the Marion County Republican Party, $4,400. So it's not like it was a whole lot of money, but for them, it's a lot of money. I think he kept it open for a while. I'm not exactly sure why, though. I think he just got... Oh, yeah, this is how they used to do campaign reports. Dude, what a freaking nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. And then they finally changed. I was trying to read some of this stuff. Like, there's just no way. There's just no way. I can't do it. Yeah, he had $153,000, and then he started giving crazy expenditures to Gary Varvel, Crown Plaza for an event fee, Veteran Strategies. And I think Veteran Strategy was run by like one of his former employees. So, yeah. Anyway, David McBride and Vop and Andrea Hunley are so far. I imagine there will be more because we are still just under a year away, just over a year away from the actual primary. Expect a lot of money to be spent. All right. Speaking of money being spent, to Prospect Hogg said he knows where the bodies are buried and made money from the developer. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. That's what I'm saying. Like, out of the 4, let's say Hogset runs, right? Out of the 4 shit sandwiches that there are, I would take Hogset. Not even lying. And if Hogset doesn't run, I'll take Vop. Because Vop is basically a black Hogset, but sober. Vop is an absolute dope. And to be honest with you, I would totally run for mayor just to get on the debate stage with them, so I can totally wreck them. I would mop the floor with basically anybody that like. Let's just be honest. David McBride has no chance at all. This is an op to try and take away votes in the black community. Because think about it. If I think this is going to be like some 4D chess move from Hogset right now. Okay, so we have 3 black people that are running for office. So the black vote is obviously going to be split. You'll have, some of the blacks that would vote for Hogset for a 4th time, especially if Hogset like asphalts or like takes care of their parking lot or whatever. But then, like, you're going to have the DSA people vote for Hunley. You're going to have the elite black people that are going to vote for Vop. And then you're going to have the union people that are going to vote for McBride. And then you're going to have the wealthy white people that are going to vote for Hogset because they want all their developer contracts to be up. Exactly, Polly. Those are the devils that we know. We know what Hogset is. We've known what he is for the last 12 years, almost 12 years now, and what to expect from him. But, you get some hard-ass ninja out there on the debate stage. I'm going to have a hell of a time. All right, so speaking of, Maggie Lewis put out this tweet yesterday, had the opportunity to celebrate our city's history at the ribbon cutting for New Generations Bank. In the heart of Indy Health District, this bank will provide families with unprecedented access to banking services. Let me be... I have a question for you. Riddle me this. Who is not allowed to have bank services right now? Nobody, by the way. And unless, like, you're just some random creep that has no ID. So I looked into the Generations Community Bank. I think Axios had a article on it as well. New bank on a mission to make a difference. This thing sounds like an absolute scam. 100%. I am convinced on it. I don't know what the hell, and I don't expect it to be around for that long. Also, it's at the IPL building. I should go past it tomorrow. All right, so Generations Community Bank is on track to become the state's first startup bank since 2008. The Indiana's first ever minority depository institution. I don't understand why. You know what? I'm going to have to Google. I want to make sure that I'm right on. I have a feeling what it is. A financial institution where 51% or more of the voting stock is owned by minority individuals, or where a majority of the board is... Okay, so you just have a large amount of black people on the board. That's it? That's what makes it so fucking special? All right, let's look at the team. Okay, also on the board of directors, I think this is it, right? Yeah, Ursel Ozdemir, who is the guy who has Indy 11. I thought, so we made this joke on Indy Reporters, like, dude, it would be so funny if Ursel runs for mayor just to spite Joe Hogset so he can try and get his taxpayer-funded stadium. By the way, the Indy 11 stadium could totally be done right now, but Ursel would have to pay for it all by himself because of all the dead bodies that they have over there. I don't say that begrudgingly. I'm just saying it because it's true. And of course, the former chairman and CEO of Old National Bank, I think is the guy running it, but the CEO of Generations Community Bank is from Al London. You got like a Mexican, a white dude, a Chinese, another white dude, a black dude. I don't know what the fuck Ursel is. He's Mexican. That's it. Wait, you're Mexican? So yeah, I don't understand this. I'm gonna go drive past it if I remember tomorrow morning. And what they needed too, they needed $25 million. I think they were trying to do some kind of funding for it. They were like 23, now they needed 25. So with a launch, it just seems like okay, we're gonna serve all Hoosiers of all backgrounds and colors. That's what all banks do now anyway. I don't know, Middle Eastern. Yeah, I don't know what he is. No, he's Mexican. That's it. If you're brown, you're Mexican. Someone's gonna clip that later. Anyway, I don't understand it. Generations will not be a bank that serves only people of color, but we're gonna sue all colors. Your banks are allowed to do that now. I just don't understand it. It's just a bank that has a 51% board of blacks or minorities. Oh, here it was. The bank needs $24 million in capital funds to open and has raised more than 23. By the way, this was last year that this happened. And then they must have been able to raise enough, and now they're Generations Community Bank. You know, it'd be so funny. I know someone's going to clip this later. It's like, man, you walk in there and all the tellers are just like, yeah, you know, and just doing their nails and stuff, and there's like DMX playing in the background. What's up, man? You making a deposit today? I should go over there and see, how do I open an account here? Anyway, I know that's gonna give me a lot of heat in the very near future, but I just don't give a shit. I'm making a joke because I don't know what it is. The key loan futures, loan amounts from $2,500 to $100,000. Don't they do that now? I mean, there's not a whole lot of detail on what the interest rate will be. Or is it a balloon? Is it a ninja loan? None of the above. So, interested of how that whole thing turned out. All right. The H-1B. This is fascinating to me. The H-1B Visa Explorer. This is one of the reasons why we're so pissed off today. Is like, I want to be able to do and look into this more. All right, so this is the Explorer H-1B labor condition applications filing from 2015 to 2025. So I looked up Marion County. I'm sure you guys saw this already. 1,500 for Infosys. Infosys, the same business that Greg Ballard and Raju Shintala helped bring to Indianapolis. The same Infosys that got a bunch of tax help from the IEDC. What? Tata Consulting Services. I think. Hold on. I thought Tata was also one of the. Oh, was also on the. Okay, it was not. There it is. I could have swore I saw Tata on there. That has. Anyway, while that's doing its business. Right here. Then we have Indiana University, Purdue, IUPUI, Eli Lilly, Cognizant. These are all the places. So the top job titles, software developers. I wish there wasn't where they were coming from. Like, that's pretty crazy. And then so they have like the big one, Amazon, Infosys, dude. In California, oh yeah, this is what I want to show you. California, 22,000 H-1B applications. Texas, 20,000 H-1B applications. Totally crazy. Well, no. Google, Deloitte, Microsoft. I mean, just the amount is wild. Median wage, $136,000. I don't know what all the Amazon stuff is. Washington, California, Texas, New York, Virginia. Don't forget, Virginia also has their second headquarters for Amazon. I think it was Amazon. Goldman Sachs. What are we doing? Tesla, of course. I'm not surprised by that, by the way. So it has all like the top 50 for the H-1B applications. Let me show you Hamilton County, Cognizant, which I don't know what that is. Guessing some software crap. Odessa, MISO. I don't understand MISO because that's like the grid operator for the electricity. Why are we having H-1B applications for MISO? Ata, all the above. Surprisingly, did not see a whole lot for, let me see Johnson County. Hancock had 335 for Infosys. Yeah, I mean, and a Landco. Really? Yeah, not that I think. Let's see, where's Johnson County? Is another Infosys. Oh, okay. Franklin College had 18 H-1B applications. Pretty interesting. No surprise by Amazon. I mean, that's just a wild number. Anyway, I wanted to look more into that to see where everything was going on. I went to in Lake County and IBM 74. Interesting stuff. The hospitals are also hiring H-1B workers. St. Mary Medical, St. Catherine Hospital. Crazy. Let's see. Pro County, Indiana, IU, 1,500. By the way, actually, I should look that up. What was it? Intent to hire. Yeah, there we go. Notices of intent to hire an H-1B worker. A lecturer. Holy shit. What the fuck? A job title for a lecturer. $98,000 for an two of them, by the way. 2 lecturers that we need. For veterinarian and Department of Aeronautics. And why do we need a lecturer? What does a lecturer do? And why do we need an H-1B lecturer? That's just someone who speaks, right? Yeah. What the fuck is that? Hold on, let me. So Purdue.
Secretary Pete Hegseth is in that room. You've got Scott Bessent in that room. You have Tulsi Gabbard in that room. You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is where we are presently broadcasting from. And who's in the room?
Okay. Let's see. He has notice of intent to hire for 2 lecturers. One making $98,000, and then the other making $87,000. I'll take $98,000 as lecture your ass off. Don't make me. No, never mind. Why do we need an H-1B worker for that? Shooter named Cole Thomas Allen, California. Thank you, Steve. All right. Let's go, boys. Let's look into this guy. We're going full deep. I'm talking about balls deep. Let me. I'll put that out tomorrow morning. Everybody's probably a little too distracted with the. All right. So, Cole Thomas Allen. Cole. Oh, here we go. Teacher of the month. Oh, wow. Who would have thought? Shooter suspect as no party preference. Breaking. Suspected shooter identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen of Torrance, California, mechanical engineering. Oh boy, with a man bun at that. What it looks like. That's crazy. Good stuff, Steve. Thank you. Here's teacher of the month. Hey, you gotta watch out. Hey, sometimes you gotta watch out for those teachers. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. E2 education. What is that? 31 Cole. Oh, hold on.
Together, members of both parties with members of the press, and in a certain way, it did, because the fact that they just unified. I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see a man charge a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity. I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to, and you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a
yeah, Brad. Maybe there was an app for it.
Group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway.
Oh, damn, they got a picture of his face?
Has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California. And he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out, and you've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words. I know we're going to have cash, and then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir. Because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be.
I'm just reading the comments right now on
We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody.
Did he have a gun? I mean, they said the Secret Service guy got shot.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the President just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident, given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage. And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you. Director Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene, to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the President, the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement of the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you. you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you.
Apparently he donated
Okay, we'll
to
do a couple,
Kamala.
and then we go to
25 bucks.
Madam Chairman. I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule.
Oh, they got the security camera footage, allegedly.
It's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Oh, damn.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
As
damn.
you mentioned, it all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were
Oh, yeah,
telling
that's
us to
from
get
his
down,
Truth Social.
can you
Damn, they already got
describe
the security footage out.
what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It was. It's always shocking when something like this
Okay, guys,
happens.
hold on.
Happened to me.
Actually, hold on, let me
a
do it
little bit,
myself.
and that never changes. The fact
Homeboy
we're
runs
sitting
right
next to each
through
other,
security,
First Lady, am I
full
right?
speed.
And I heard a
gonna
noise.
come up from the left over
and
here.
sort of
Watch
thought
him.
it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down.
Bam!
I've heard that many times, and it was pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area
I mean,
at
he's
all.
run
They really
right
got him.
through there.
But so it was quite far away. But it was a gun. And
I just checked.
some
It's
people
on his Truth Social.
really
Oh,
understood
yeah, there
that
it
pretty
is.
quickly.
Okay.
Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise," and we were whisked
coming right
away
through here.
along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So
You know what this
it was very
reminds
quick.
me of?
There was a lot of time
Oh,
to be
what's
thinking.
that movie
'Cause
with
it was a matter of
Chris
seconds before
Pine?
we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too. We very much wanted
Yeah,
to
you
continue.
don't pay
it,
off
'cause
my
I don't
student loan,
like to
I'm
let
gonna
these
kill
sick
ya.
people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was.
What just happened? Oh, they just killed the feed. Fuck. Gonna be a
Hey, attention
commercial. Of
homeowners,
course there's
I
gonna
want to
be-
buy your house.
Why not?
Right now, as is, no matter what condition it's in. And not only
But I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at
dude,
the
the
people
internet's
that
powerful,
have
Brad.
either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We have.
Oh no,
We've
they
taken
found the
this
guy's
country.
family
And
too.
we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor
Well,
events?
but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. You know, I'm not going to be. I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the
Thank you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you know, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, you know, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no.
Oh, jeez.
There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. You know, he's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions.
Oh,
I
he
guess
did.
they're
Does he
going
have a
over
man
Todd,
bun?
and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing, no. I mean,
Caitlin
he was,
Collins saying that the shooter
a guy
was
who
dead.
Looked pretty evil when he was down. You know, they had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, you know, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was, so in a sense, you know, that was pretty amazing, the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot. As you know, they should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly. And he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him.
You think he'll Epstein himself?
Yeah, a couple of more.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there's pictures of people
Are you
stealing
concerned
booze.
about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so
here, Mr.
concerned that you
President.
can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%.
Dude, how can you not love
But if you take
47? He's
presidents,
so
it's
fucking
5.8%.
hilarious.
And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
what does that say about our country?
Too. We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
Will it turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I see to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year, and I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you know, you read stories where they become basket cases, to be honest with you. I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times, she said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight, we heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Talked about how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
They got Melania?
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security.
Yeah, we got a lot of good videos, Brad.
If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him.
He's going all Naruto style.
A lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. And we really do, but it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
There we go.
Wow, there you go. President Trump speaking.
I said it first. All right. There we go. I mean, this he went like straight zoom in from there to there. And then, you know what this reminds me of? You guys ever seen Smoking Aces at all? This is how all the theater critics imagine all this stuff is gonna happen. Fucking theater kids, I swear to God, they're all goofy. But anyway, Posobiec posted this from the New York Post that the guy had assembled the long weapon in an unsecured room before firing near the ballroom, volunteer reveals. Also, what is it right here? Not remotely shocked if the shooter was actually a teacher. Shocking, right? Teachers, librarians, something about the public school system always seems to bring out the crazies. Who would have guessed? You know what? Who will always top that off? Women. Right here. Shooter at White House correspondent dinner. Shooter is dead. Thank you, Secret Service. Hey, lady, I don't think you have enough cleavage out. Yeah, make it about you. Pucker face. This is how much Micah imagines the band kids. Yeah, it's so true. And let's see, I got some more footage too while that was happening. Boom, right there. That appears to be the shooter right there.
Oh my God! Get out! Get out! Let's go! Let's go! Get out!
Yeah, I'm totally lumping groups into this. Where's the fun of not lumping groups into this? All right, then here's the other one too. This is, I don't know. This kind of looks AI, but I don't think it is. Hold on, let me, boop. Trump eats it, then he has to get back up.
There's the president being escorted. The president being escorted out one side.
Everybody forgets that JD Vance was like 6'4". He's like a tall freaking dude. Yeah, footage of the alleged shooter on the ground right over here.
Got it. No. Switch over.
And his comfy blanket.
Top of the stairs.
Comfy tinfoil blankie.
Got it.
So yeah, they got Vance out for, well, I mean, they were doing them all at the same time. You know, I was just telling this to, I was talking to Drew about this. And, hold on. Actually, I'm not here. Hold on. Oop. All right, so I was just talking to Drew about this yesterday. I was pointing out that you rarely see, we were talking about Beckwith and Braun, and I said, you know, Braun's been doing a really good job of not being around Beckwith. And the other thought of that is, like, just like the president and vice president, they don't want them in the same room together unless it's like some special event. And so they always, because you have number one and number two. You imagine if Braun gets knocked out, then you have Governor Beckwith. So you never want them in the same room together. I heard journalists, yeah, there it is. Bro, they are removing the journos from the brawl room, and the journos are taking all the booze with them, 2 bottles at a time. Yeah, they got the hold on. They got the champagne right there. I saw Steve mention about the room being full of, yeah. I mean, duck face selfie at a shooting. Just disgusting. Shout out to the photographer getting photos with bourbon neat in hand. Absolute power move. I mean, it is pretty good, right? Gotta check it out. That's Andy Harnick. What a king. Okay, there we go. Put that energy in the universe, Gov. Yeah, don't put that energy into you. Hey, man, I said it from the beginning. Everybody should be. That's why Braun. Nothing's gonna happen with Braun. Brawl room. I've been saying that since day one. After my one is after Micah won the LG, and then 2 is when Braun won the election, especially the primary. Was Braun is going to be safe. Nobody is going to hurt Braun. Why? Because if something happens to Braun, you are going to have Governor Beckwith. There's just no way. And everybody does not want that to happen. To be honest, I don't want that. In the end, it's terrifying. It is. I mean, Brad, for real, right? Like, I know, like, Cassie Jackson is a perfect example of this. That's why she never talks bad about Braun, because what comes next would be even worse. Let's see. Hold on. I spelled it wrong. Got one more. I forgot one more thing. But then we'll get back into the news. Das News. That's all there. Talked about black banks. Okay, because this is going to be interesting of what's coming up with the primary. Listen, we're like, what, less than 10 days away now from the primary? Okay. All right. So TP, fun show tonight. Very fun show. Typical media. Things get tough and they're hide under the table. I mean, it's so true. Tommy Ice. Dude, I would be in there like perking around like a meerkat, finding out where the danger is and trying to get shots of like, all right, where's the danger at? That's where I'm going. I want to get pictures. I want to be in there. I mean, Shelton, listen, I've been saying it since day one. Shelton would be a great Secretary of State. Actually, no, I was going to talk about that on last Tuesday. I brought this. I'm glad you brought that up, Brad, because there's a lot of stuff going on around right now in the grassroots with Diego and Shelton. And they're saying like, oh, well, you know, if we're going to fight the culture war, Diego would be a better suit than Shelton. It's like, all right, well, what exactly has Diego done to fight the culture war? He went to India with a guy who is trying to sell, help out get people EADs. Gaskell. Gaskell, I don't know much about Gaskell. I know he was like mediocre in the trust chart, but Catherine Callahan would bring more content. Like Shelton, sure, okay, if that's the argument you want to make about the culture war, fine, I get it with, you know, the whole van thing. But like, what has Diego done for the culture at all, except, you know, turn a blind eye to all these Indian trucking businesses, especially when you have Sid Mahant, who wants to lower the minimum requirement to get a CDL, when you have Raju promoting himself like, hey, I'm going to be in Hyderabad. I can help you out get an EAD and a green card and a work visa and stuff. That's the kind of stuff. And then we have Fabio de la Cruz involved with it too, which who knows what the fuck he's doing. I only have my theories. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing's completely ridiculous. I'm still working on trying to get a media pass for the convention. I mean, I already have my hotel room booked. Culture war, though, he makes. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, some of the arguments I heard against Shelton was like, oh, well, he's not going to try and fight for things. I'm like, he had two bills that he helped get through, SB 112 and SB 113, and I wish that he would talk about those more. I think only one got through, though. No, 112 got through. No. Oh, that's 12. Okay, they both, yeah, so 112 and 113 both got signed by Braun. Those are two bills that Shelton had direct help on getting through the finish line. You know, he's not a legislator, so he can only ask the legislators, hey, we need to get this bill across because of blank, blank, blank reasons. And so they were able to get it across, and Shelton also spoke in the committee meetings. I had recorded it. I watched it live. So he is an election nerd. I mean, and I've been saying this for a while. He should just say, it's like, hey, tell you what, this is what I'll do. If I win Secretary of State, I will find a county to do paper ballots for. Even if it's my own county in Knox County, we will do paper ballots one election. How's that sound? And see how much of a clusterfuck it's going to be. And watch how many people don't participate in it, too. That's what I really wish he would go hardcore. And I was like, all of you guys want paper ballots, but none of you guys want to help out at the polling location. So fuck you. That's how it should be. Anyway, speaking of it, that whole thing gets me all worked up. The whole paper ballot argument. It's so dumb. Or people is like, we need more. We need change, but then they never get involved. These like grassroots Republicans are just as bad as communists and the socialists. They want everybody else to do the work. They never want to get involved. Is the maximum amount of involvement that you get from grassroots Republicans are them voting. They never want to go door knock. They never want to even like and share for the social media. They never want to participate in somebody's election. They just want everybody else to do the work. Anyway, but you know who's let's go into this fantastic action right now with Turning Point Action. Now, they had their report card, which is completely redonkulous, except for Andrew Ireland getting 100%. That makes sense. But when you have people like, where is it? You had Zach Payne getting 87, which is really funny. You had Ed Soliday. Where is it? Michelle Davis is tied with all of the boomer establishments. Not only that, but then you have, where is it? Greg Walker. Travis. Oh, right there. Greg Walker got a better report card than Michelle Davis for the Turning Point Action Report card. Is that not like the craziest thing ever? It just shows that like the Turning Point people have no idea what they're talking about. And so when you look at it, they have, okay, so they are at least the Carve Out Act. I looked at this the other day and they didn't even have bills from this year. What did Greg Walker get? Okay, cool. He actually did. Because when I looked at this, they did not have... Yeah, Greg Walker, there were only like a few things, but this is what I ended up finding. Yeah, well, I mean, he got 100 on the last score. The lifetime score is 84. But what did Michelle Davis get? Michelle Davis got a lifetime score of 83.33, losing patriotism, session of 100. But what did Greg Walker get for his session? He got 100 too. Like most of these people got 100 besides Democrats. Which, by the way, it's actually really funny because I saw Danny Lopez at the very bottom. Like, I think there was a Democrat that got a better score than he did. Right there, yeah. Dude, he got a 50. He got a 50. And then, like, Blake Johnson and Mitch Gore got a higher score than they did. And same thing with Wendy Danchester. It's so funny. I've been saying this for a while now, is a lot of these endorsements don't mean anything. They don't have any weight. And this is another classic example of like Turning Point doesn't have the right people in place to say, hey, you really fucked up on this report card. You need to have better people under there. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. All right, leaning into the next thing. Going into it. We have a crazy amount of money being spent by the Senate Majority Campaign Committee, as you can see from the 14th or the 15th of April, right here. They gave Linda Rogers just this one donation of 180 grand. The amount of money is crazy. I saw Hannah News like broke down the whole thing. I think it's like Linda Rogers, Greg Good, and Spencer Derry are like the top three people. I think like Rogers or Derry has like $700,000 donated from the Senate Majority Campaign. And then if you look at HRCC, they also have a crazy amount of money being spent. Not as much as the Senate. For like, 45,000. I mean, they are really trying to help out Stewart. We'll see. And also they really want Wes Bennett in there for what is it? Craig Haggard's spot. All right, last thing. Let's talk about... All right, let me delete all this stuff real quick. All right, I'll do this real quick, and then we'll go into then we'll finish it off with the Birch Buy, baby Birch Buy. All right, so there was some polling that got released to me pretty early on from the American Pulse research. And listen, you guys know how I feel about polls. Normally, I think they're fake and gay. But if I could stir the pot a little bit, I'll always do that. And here's why. No matter what comes out of this, I win. If Darren Vogt wins the primary, I win. If Liz Brown ends up winning the primary, I win. Because then I get to prove that polls are fake and gay. But it is really funny that the American Pulse research people are directly helping Darren vote. Darren Vox, whatever his last name is. So it's like, oh, you're getting polling data from the people that are helping Darren vote. Bot, whatever, how you pronounce his last name. It's like, whatever. I don't care. Still got like 70,000 impressions, so that's pretty cool. Not bad, huh, boys? We'll see what happens. I mean, I kind of trust this polling, especially the people that I talk to. And the reason why, especially the impact vote. And because Darren has been getting more social media impressions. He's been getting more of his name ID out there. And the more they talk, like go at each other between Darren and Liz Brown, the more that they're just like, oh, maybe Darren vote's a better guy after all. But we'll see what happens. Nobody ever knows what's going to happen until the election day. But hey, you know, if this helps stir up the pot a little bit, I'm more than happy to help. All right, let's last thing of what's going on here. Adam Wren has basically been sucking the balls of Birch Bayh for the last couple of months, ever since he announced that he was running for Secretary of State. And I swear to God, I am convinced that Adam Wren is gay now. So it's his 30th birthday. How else would a chiseled 6'3" ex-Marine and ambitious Hoosier political scion celebrate but with some PT in the deep woods of southern Indiana? Dude, you know that Adam Wren was fucking gooning to this whole thing when he was writing. He's like he was writing some romance novel about baby Birch Bayh. It's completely ridiculous. So I read most of it. It is like a total word slop of just bullshit and just talking about his dad, talking about his mom, talking about the relation to Obama and the things that we already knew. He's getting a shit ton of money, and it was mostly about his dad and like Ren lookmaxing. No, Ren is a fucking catfish. All right. You remember that? I won't talk about it. That was pretty early on in the Indie Reporter days. And catfish and Ren. Oh yeah. Oh dude, right here. Do you remember this post? This needs to stop. Dude, what Adam Wren thinks he looks like versus what he actually looks like. Dude, that's it is Polly, right? It's a total weird write-up. And it's starting off the article that way. The first paragraph is like that. And so it doesn't give, this is what I've been saying, and I hope to God, I mean, the interview with Kendall and Baby Birch and I think Nick Roberts has already been recorded. But I would put a lot of money on that Kendall did not ask him any hard-hitting questions. I already know I'm going to be disappointed by the interview because the whole thing is going to be the I hate Diego interview. So I don't care if a bunch of third worlders come into this state and then start raping all their daughters. Baby Birch does not care about that, and it's starting to look more like Rob Kendall doesn't care about that either. Otherwise, he'd be shilling for Shelton. Well, exactly. That's going to be my point, Polly, are the policies. Because I ended up like I said, I only read half of it before. I was just getting so annoyed. It's like, all right, let's talk about exactly what he's going to do. So I copied and pasted the whole thing and about the what strategy. I want to know. So I just ran it through ChatGPT. It's like, all right, tell me if there was any policy stuff on it. No one knows what he believes in. Yeah, he's a fucking retard, basically. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's getting these talking points from his political strategist and that absolute fucking dope and Terre Haute, Brandon Nutsack. So I go, hey, is there anything about Bo would do if he was Secretary of State? Like, tell me about the policy. Yeah, it's pretty limited and mostly framed around good government and election administration, not sweeping policy changes. Is Diego... Well, Diego's running as an incumbent, so whatever his policy is, that's what he's doing. He repeatedly, listen, and I already talked shit about Diego. If you're going to replace one shitbag, then it can't be with another shitbag. That is the rule of life. You have to replace somebody who is better, that has a defined policy, not one shitbag from the right to another shitbag to the left. It's literally that simple. I bet Biden doesn't even understand what. No, I'm convinced on that. Same thing with Jamie Rittenhauer, too. I'm convinced on all of that. I mean, and this is what the stuff comes down to. When he talks about we need to rebuild the middle class, that's actually, I think that's on his website. It's like, you are the Secretary of State. It is an administrative role. What the fuck does that have to do with rebuilding the middle class? And it's mostly like, hey, give me money. Give me your information. Yeah, the issues. Let's see the issues. Has anything changed? Oh, I will. Okay, what exactly does that mean? Wasteful spending. Yeah, okay. And I would like to know, will you not take a taxpayer-funded car? These are basic questions that he should be being asked, but everybody is afraid to ask them. I have no idea. And I am already setting myself up to watch this interview that Kendall did. I miss the old Kendall. That's what this is what like annoys me the most. I miss the old Kendall. I miss the fucking ruthless Kendall that would get in your face and ask hard-hitting questions. And now it's morphed into the I hate that person, therefore I'm going to like this person question. I hate what I wish that Kendall was his old form again, where he's asking specifically. It's like, all right, you have on your website, Bo will fight for hardworking Hoosiers. He'll stand up for them by fighting excessive taxes on working people. That's not the job of the Secretary of State. Supporting labor unions. That's not the job of the Secretary of State. Demanding accountability for every taxpayer dollar. Sure, maybe. And working to rebuild a strong middle class. What the fuck does that have to do with the Secretary of State's office? What can you literally do? Oh, well, I'm going to support it. Oh, cool. What are you going to do? Go out on a sign on this corner of the road like Jesse Brown and be like, we need blank. I fight against blank. I support blank. While all your minions in the Secretary of State's office doing their job. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I cannot stand it. And I hope to God that Kendall is going to go back to his old form, the old ruthless Kendall of asking. It's like, all right, you want my vote. Exactly how are you going to accomplish that? That's what I want to know. Like, I have my whole policy on what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. Now, there are roadblocks on certain things. I get that. However, what is your plan? Oh, I'm going to support them. Tweet, social media. Way to go. What the fuck are you talking about? And if you watch any of his interviews, it's just like a hamster on its wheel and then just rolls off. It's like, that's what it is. It's the buy shakes. It's the baby birch bullshit is what's going on. So, and then, going back into the ChatGPT slop is like, ChatGPT, tell me your secrets. Read this whole thing. Tell me if he talks about policy. Focus on election administration. Well, not super detailed. His positioning suggests, okay, he's not campaigning on major election, blah, blah, blah. Expand citizen-led ballot initiatives. By the way, the Secretary of State's office has no control of that. If he's supporting it, sure, whatever. But you cannot just be like, citizen ballot initiatives, there we go. Democrats and disaffected Republicans, less culture superiority from Democrats. He has not one time called out Democrats. Focus on election administration, not election rhetoric. Okay, so what do you mean by that, though? And I guarantee you he can visit. Yeah, promises made, promises kept. Going to visit all 92 counties in 3 months, Yeah, it's all about it. Run a back-to-basics office. What do you mean by that? Overseas elections. That's your job. Handles business services. All right. Are you going to go to every meeting? Regulate securities. Okay. Licensed auto dealers. At least when Destiny Wells was running for office, she had like specific things. I don't know if Blythe Potter's doing anything. I mean, she's got like what, 200,000 grand? Yeah, I think 200,000 compared to 2.8 million. So you never know. Blythe Potter might have a chance at the convention. She just needs to make sure that she has her people there. there are a lot of people that do not want Baby Birch Bayh in the Democrat Party as their Secretary of State candidate. And the biggest reason is that they're just tired of the nepotism. They're tired of this legacy political crap that's been going on for decades now. It's like, oh, okay, so it's like George, like the Bushes or the Clintons. Like, okay, next person up, we have to have that spot. Like most government, I saw this tweet the other day, and I don't know if I say it or not, but like most government is filled with people that that they know, people that they're banging, or family. That's a lot of what these positions are filled with. Or absolute puppets that will just get money from the PACs or from the unions or insert here, and then they'll just do their bidding. It's very annoying. What does that... I know, Polly, exactly. It's all so vague, and it's just overdone. Like, I think Ren wrote this article expecting people not to read the whole thing. Like, I didn't even have to do all of it. Like, respond to say, he was building a winning campaign with supporters. Okay, someone can be a very nice person and personal capable, but what is going to happen in the future with these large, dolly, scary donors? Exactly. Like, what are we going to have to do favors for that? And Blythe Potters, she is fucking crazy, but she gets it. These donors are expecting something. Just like MTX, just like CTSG, they're all giving you money because they want something. And so you have $2.8 million worth of donors. They all want something, whether it's in front, whether it's behind. But at some point, they're going to want to have their dick touched and over the pants handy so they can get what they're buying for. A spokesperson for a winning campaign with supporters who agree shouldn't be wasting tax dollars and no big con. That's it? That's it? That's your answer. It's so dumb. No, actually, I should see if there's been any more donations. I mean, the whole buy campaign has been an absolute slop from the beginning. Has not had it since that one. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about too. All right, check this shit out. I want to go to Ballard. There is a name, and it's showing up everywhere. Yeah, Marianne Glick. Here we go. I want to show you guys something. There is something weird happening. Marianne Glick. Okay, so I just copy pasted. Look at this right here. There's one space, and then there's two space. There's one space and there's two spaces. Now I hate this website, and here's why. Okay, Marianne Glick. The last time it shows that she donated was 2014 to Mike Pence for $500. Let's do this again. Contributions from Marianne Glick. This time I'm gonna put once. I'm gonna click it down to one space. This is how they by the way, this is how things get goofed up. Mike Pence. All right, there we go. Now let's look at the address. All right, we're gonna go back to that. I'm gonna leave the other one up. Okay, you see the address right there? It'll show up as Marianne Glick again. Well, look, now it totally changes. Hold on, let me disappear. Oop. And let me move. Okay, now look. Now it shows like a whole bunch of Democrats that she's giving money to. She gave money to Greg Ballard. She's giving a lot of money to Tiffany Stoner, Alyssa Impink, which we talked about. Yeah, that's like Glick Stadium, right? Gave a bunch of money to there. But here's I'm going to show you one more. We're going to put it Lane with an LN. And look, it completely changes now. Because that now you can see that she has given over $1,200 to Bo Bai, and she also gave money to where the crap is it? Yeah, to Greg Ballard. So she gave $2,500 to Greg Ballard, and then over $1,200 to Bo Bai, to Baby Birch Bai. But then also has given a bunch of money to establishments and Mike Pence, Becky Skillman, Mitch Daniels, but has not really given anything since 2014. Ton of Act Blue money. And then obviously they disperse it out. But this is how where things get goofed up, because they can put their address in as LANE, but then also they can put their address in as LN. And then you'll get two completely different campaign reports. Yeah, philanthropist. That's what I wanted to point out, that she's obviously double dipping. Also gave, oh yeah, that's not the guy who ran for governor. Now he's part of the IEDC. Yeah. Seth White to McCormick to Kerry Hamilton to charter school people. Isn't it Rise Indy Charter School? Money to Woody Myers. All of it. So anyway, yeah. That whole article was crap. It was just basically a giant suck-off fest for Bo Bai. I mean, that's just typical of Adam Wren. He'll just lock in lasers to whoever. Straight up politico bullshit. And we'll see what happens on Monday. I'm very curious to see how the interview goes. All right. Well, that's it for me. 11:30, not bad. Quite a interesting night, has it been? And I have a lot of catching up on messages and research. Dude, check this out. Oh man, the pictures. Oh man, that's so damn good. I figured the memes will be out in full. Who had gay black school teacher? Who would have thought? Oh man. Was armed with multiple weapons, including a shotgun, a handgun, and several knives. Oh wow!
Charged a U.S. Secret Service checkpoint here in the lobby area of the hotel. He was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. As he ran through that checkpoint, members of law enforcement from the United States Secret Service intercepted that individual. This is a very preliminary investigation at this point. We do know that law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the individual. We do know that a U.S. Secret Service uniformed division officer was struck in his vest. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. He seems to be in good spirits at this time. The suspect in this case, he was not struck by gunfire. However, he was transported to a local hospital
so he didn't even
to
get
be
hit.
evaluated. Site detail.
That's crazy. Very interesting. Well, there we go. Now we got something showing up. All right, so that's all I got. Make sure you show up on Tuesday night. I don't know what I'm going to talk about at all, but I'm sure it's going to be something fun. All right, so you guys have a good night. Stay safe. Hopefully, I'm happy that that power is back on. Now I can get back.